This is a trade recap for Friday, April 10th, 2026. Number one of phase 4 of One and Done, our exercise to build discipline and consistency. So we're just kicking this one off. Basically, the concept here is you only are allowed one trade in a session, with the exception of, now that we're kind of in these later stages or mid stages, allowing for a reset trade if the initial trade turned out to be red and a reset trade was planned for. Other than that, it is literally just one trade. That's all you're allowed. So you have to kind of focuses you to pick the best. We're using a size of 5 to 7 contracts here in phase 4, and that's kind of the lay of the land for this exercise and this phase. Now, again, this is something that we've been doing for a little bit. This is not my concept or idea. This comes from my coach, Pat Mitchell, over at Trick Trades. If you are new or struggling with day trading, I'd highly recommend you get a coach, and there is no one better out there than Pat Mitchell. He will help get you to where you want to be in terms of trading at a professional level as a retail trader. So if you are interested in getting coached by him, you can jump over to his website. It's at tricktrades.com. You can read up on the service, about his background. He's been at this for over a decade, was originally in blue collar. It's an interesting journey that he's been on, and you can find a ton of information on there. If you kind of want a sampling of the information he puts out there, you can also jump over to his YouTube page. He has over 1,700 videos on there. He's been doing this for quite a while. It's a ton of information. It'll just take you forever to crawl through it all and kind of figure out what the pieces are and then put them together in the appropriate way. Save yourself a lot of time, effort, and honestly money by just simply joining the service. So if that is something that interests you, you can jump down in the description below. There's a couple links to the memberships. If you're looking to save a little bit of money on your first month, give it a try, see if it jives with you. It is a education service, not an alert service. Have realistic expectations. You're here to learn, not to shadow someone else's trades. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this morning's live recording of the trading session. All right, so if you're new here, the way this is all kind of laid out, we only trade SPY and Qs. Just those two tickers, that's all you need. This top row here, this is SPY. This bottom row, this is Qs. On the left here, these are daily charts. So one candle is 1 day. In the middle here, 1 minute intraday chart. And then over here on the right is the order execution, because that's where I like to, again, just kind of have all my stuff right on one screen. Much easier for me to track and watch. These blue levels you see are levels selected by Pat. Usually he starts the night before and then refines them the morning of, depending on what we do, gap down, sideways, whatever. And he is a master at picking these levels. I've seen other people try to pick levels. Even I try to pick levels, and it's, I would say I probably have a 50 to 60% accuracy in terms of alignment with what he picks. He is a master at this. So once he goes through, gets the levels figured out, then he puts together a trade plan for us and all the other members of the room, and that is what we execute. So as you can see on SPY, again, opening around the high of yesterday between these two levels. Same with Qs. Qs is actually gapping up a bit. So we've got our levels kind of selected. I threw some yellow levels on points I would be interested in for, again, profit targets. Pat doesn't do that. He just can look at the price action and see where exactly those targets are. That's still something I'm picking up. You'll also see these red dashed risk levels. I like a visual cue to my risk. Again, Pat doesn't do that, but it's something I like and do. Will that change in the future? We'll see. Again, I'm still figuring that part out. Honestly, the more I can trade like Pat, the better, considering how wildly successful he is at this. So trying to be more like him is, again, and the way he does things, probably the right way to go. So it's about 10 seconds before the open. I'll go ahead and hit play. So again, we're kind of both SPY and Qs are kind of, right in the middle of that channel. So it's one of those things where we'll just have to wait for it to kind of see what it wants to do. Queue starts racing up, get orders quickly selected, fired that one off. Missed it again by a fraction of a second in terms of the pop up, so not the best fill on that one. And then kind of waiting to see what we do. Gonna try and be a little bit more patient. Got in with, again, normal starter. Just waiting to see whether or not we get that reaction, kind of back down to that first yellow dash level where I thought it might, again, potentially bounce off of. So I selected that as the kind of first target to pay into, which aligns kind of with that first reaction. Looks like we're starting to get it, so just getting everything prepared. All right, take one off. Gonna hold that one, kind of see what we get on that. To come up into the level, again, good chance to correct, add an average. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the training. Now, in the beginning, when you're in a smaller wheelhouse, does that necessarily mean you're going to be doing that? No. You're going to take your first reaction only, and you'll be done because you only have so much size. But with the size we're working now, adding and averaging and being very good at that is going to make all the difference in the world. Kind of floating around, kind of seeing what we're doing, getting ready to, again, potentially correct now we're coming into the level proper. SPY still has some room to come up into its level. So I'm going to go ahead and add there. Just kind of waiting to see if I get to nail the pop, but again, a little bit off, but this is all stuff we've been identifying and trying to work through. And that is a day in, day out thing when we're trading. So work these issues, make these tweaks, and really, again, try and hone in on them on every trade session. So now that we're in with 3 right now, because we've only paid out 1, just kind of waiting. Let's see what we're going to do. Coming into the level a little bit more so. So again, a little more idealistic entry there. If I hadn't taken that one, I would have, again, hit it there, but I wanted to save the rest of what I could potentially correct with, just in case we came above because of where SPY was. But now it's one of those things we're starting to see reactions on SPY, and it's coming down. So see if Qs follows suit. One thing that was interesting, there was a little divergence. It seemed like SPY was weaker than Qs, or Qs was stronger than SPY. But usually these things kind of trade in alignment. Even if they do diverge, they usually, again, will converge and kind of go back to the same behavior unless something really wonky happens. We're just, again, I guess, got to be patient. Hasn't come over the level, hasn't broken risk, or anything like that. So it's one of those things like, do you bail on the trade? No. If you're getting emotional right now, so you're being impatient. So just wait. Again, take these times to, again, be disciplined, be patient. If that's something you struggle with, here's an opportunity in a trade like this, if you were still in it, to exercise it, work it, get better at it. Take every opportunity to improve on it, again, every day. It's just, don't let these opportunities pass you by to refine these little things. Because when you refine these little things day in, day out, they really do add up, and you'll be surprised how quickly they add up. So just to not belabor the point, it's one of those things where it kind of comes in the level, just gets a little bit above. But as you notice, that SPY's like struggling to hold on. So it's one of the things like, okay, I'm confident. This adds to my confidence that this level is going to hold on Qs and it's going to come down. Didn't come quite high enough to take another correction. So again, when it starts coming down, you guys kind of see like, okay, where could this thing potentially bounce? And you see, I'm just watching something Pat pointed out. So I'll go ahead and pay 1. That was slightly red, so it willed back the profit of that first contract that I sold. It's coming down into that level of support from that pre-market high range right before the open. SPY is still kind of breaking down. Still got that yellow level that I marked there. So I'm going to peel another one off just in case SPY decides to bounce here and pull Qs back up. So now we're back down to 1. Kind of see breaking through a little bit more. All right, now completely out of that position. But not quite over yet. So as we were popping back up, there was an opportunity for a quick add. So I took one contract there as an add. So now we're up to our 5th contract in. I'm just waiting to see what kind of reaction. Got it and peeled it right back out. So traded a total of 5 contracts, which is one of those things where it's, again, getting comfortable with using size is important. And as you can see, hey, look, follow through. So it's one of those things where trades worked beautifully. The Pat selected the exact levels that were needed. Took the first one that triggered, worked. Whether you're using small size, medium size, large size, like as you can see, like it works very, very well. And then yeah, that was the trade. Go ahead and jump into the charts real quick. Pull up the entries. So there's the entries right here. In with 2, sold 1, added 2 to correct. Didn't quite come high enough for my liking to add more. And that's okay. And then when it reacted, peeled out 1, looked like it might hold, so peeled out another, got follow through, peeled out the other, was completely out of it by that point, added back in. This is number 5, and then peeled that out on the reaction. So pretty straightforward, as you can see. And it just kind of continued to work, bounced off this level a couple of times. Even came almost all the way back up. But as you can see, off these peaks, you can successive lower highs. So looking fairly weak. SPY was also looking fairly weak in the beginning session. And yeah, that's just how it went. Kind of interesting. It's like, all right, how did this more or less go? And it's like, as you can see, SPY is kind of just sideways. Q's kind of sideways too. And then, yeah, ultimately kind of SPY makes its way up in the levels. Q's made up to its level. Again, kind of came through, but still didn't break risk. So again, still no reason to really stop out. And then sold off. And then sold off. So it's one of those things where trades worked, levels worked. You can see reactions at basically every one of these levels, even the yellow levels that I marked. So it's one of those things, like Pat explains this to us. It's like there's nothing super special about this. It is just simple support resistance, technical analysis. If you think you need 50 bajillion indicators and all this woo-woo stuff or a super elaborate strategy, I mean, he proves day in, day out that is not the case. And the simpler you keep this, the better you will be. So all in all, good day. Profit on this was $45, which again may not be the best for, say, 5 contracts. But again, part of that has a lot to do with where my entries were and where I was peeled out 1. But again, it's still a win. It's again a good green day. Just simple refinements and tweaking. Just going to continue right along with that. Now we're incorporating more size and just continue to improve. And that's the job, day in, day out. Find the issues, find what needs to be tweaked, make those adjustments, commit to them, and execute. But again, that's all stuff that gets beat into us every day by Pat with all the lessons he gives us and, again, the feedback and everything. So if that is something you're interested in or think you would benefit from, please do check out tricktrades.com, become a member, check down the description below, links to the memberships, saves you a little money on your first month, and hopefully we'll see you in the service. Other than that, that's all I got. Hopefully everyone has a great weekend, and we will catch you Monday for the next one. Later.